In this video, I'm specifically making it for my M105 classes at IUK. We're going to be dealing with the discriminant, and this is from section 8-2. Alright, now, I don't know how well this paper is going to show up in the video, but for those people that are in my M105 classes at IUK, you can download this. This is in my lecture notes on my website, so you'll be able to download this and have a copy of this. But basically, this discriminant is the b squared minus 4ac, the part that is underneath the square root sign in the quadratic formula. And what this does is this allows us to determine the number and type of solutions that any given quadratic equation can have. Okay, so like I said, I don't know how well this is going to show up in the video, but basically we've got three different scenarios. We're going to calculate that b squared minus 4ac, and we're going to see what the result is. Is it greater than 0? Is it equal to 0? Is it less than 0? Okay, if it is greater than 0, you're going to have two unequal real solutions, and this is basically what the picture is going to look like. It's going to be a little parabola there crossing the x-axis at two different locations. Now we can go, since this is for a college algebra class, you can go a little bit farther here. If your original a, b, and c are rational numbers and the discriminant is a perfect square, then you know the solutions are going to be rational. If the discriminant that you calculate is not a perfect square, then the solutions are irrational conjugates. Okay, so step up from what you would have done with this discriminant in high school. If it is equal to 0, you have one solution. It's a repeated solution that is a real number. Okay, and it's if a, b, and c are rational numbers, the repeated solution is also a rational number. So again, your picture is going to look like this. It's going to cross that x-axis in one spot for one real solution. And then if the discriminant is less than 0, you are going to have no real solutions. You'll have two imaginary solutions, and the solutions are complex conjugates. Alright, so your parabola is going to look like this. It's not going to cross that x-axis at all. You're not going to have any x-intercepts. So no real solutions, just your imaginary ones. But like I said, hopefully this showed up in the video, and if it didn't, I apologize for that. But like I said, my M105 students are going to be able to download this handout from my website, and anybody else can probably Google this as well and find a similar chart. But what we're going to do here is we're going to work out a couple of examples here. I'm going to actually write the directions, because a lot of times using this discriminant and actually finding the solution, students get confused here. So let's say the directions say compute the discriminant, then determine the number and type of solutions. Okay, so very specifically, we're not actually going to use the quadratic formula and figure out what they are. We're just going to analyze what they're going to be. We're going to figure out how many solutions we're going to have and then what type of solutions those are. Alright, so let's go through a couple of examples here. Let's suppose I had a 3x squared plus a 4x minus a 5 equals 0. Okay, quadratic formula already in standard form, and again, hopefully we know that this is your A, and this is your B, and this is your C number for this formula. Okay, now the discriminant, alright, which I probably should have even wrote up here, is b squared minus 4ac. Alright, that is the discriminant. So that's the only part I'm actually going to calculate. Okay, I am not doing the entire quadratic formula. So b squared minus 4ac. Alright, on this problem here, my b is 4, so 4 squared minus 4 times a is 3 times c is negative 5. Alright, doing a little bit of arithmetic here, we'll have a 16. This is going to be negative with this negative here, which means I'm going to have a plus. Alright, 5 times 4 is 20 times another 3 is going to give me 60, which is going to give me a total of 76 right here for my discriminant. Okay, so this is positive. Alright, when it is positive, alright, then that tells me that I'm going to have two unequal real solutions. Alright, now if I then take a look at this and analyze what type of number it is not a perfect square. Alright, so let's write not perfect square. PS for perfect square. Alright, then because it's not a perfect square, I know that my two real solutions are going to also be irrational. Okay, so two real irrational solutions. Alright, and you definitely are going to have to memorize that chart that I showed at the beginning of the video to be able to get that. You're probably not just going to have it with me going through that once on that chart. So like I said, if you're one of my students, you download it off my website. If you're a student that's not in my class, I'm sure you can Google this and you'll come up with a very similar chart. Alright, so as a second example, 9x squared minus 6x plus 1 equals 0. Okay, so again, we know that 9 is A, our B is a negative 6, and our C is that 1. And the only thing that we're going to calculate is that discriminant, so B squared minus 4AC. I'm going to do that math there and then see what we can come up with. Alright, in this case, B is negative 6, so negative 6 squared, minus 4 times A is 9, and C is 1. Okay, so doing the math here, negative 6 squared is going to give me a 36. 9 times 1 times 4 is going to give me a 36, so 36 minus 36 is equal to 0. Okay, so again, when it is equal to 0, then you have one real solution, and it is a rational number. Okay, so one real solution, and then let's put which is a rational number. And definitely the difference here between doing this in a high school Algebra 1 or Algebra 2 class versus doing this in a college algebra class. Usually in high school you don't identify rational and irrational. That's something that is left for higher level math classes. So definitely thanks for watching. 2 quick examples here on just how to use that discriminant, and definitely get yourself one of those charts that tells you the 3 different scenarios that could happen with that answer of that discriminant. Thanks for watching. If the videos are helping, don't forget to share with your friends so they can benefit too. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thanks.